One of the most important facts to consider for disaster risk reduction is preparation.
Yes.
And I'm here with Ruby Anderson. She's a farmer,
Yes.
and she's also a leader of a community. And they have some different stories to tell and successful experience about learning. But let us, Ruby, to tell us what have you have done about that. Good afternoon, Ruby.
Good afternoon.
So you are a farmer,
Yes,
and besides a farmer, what do you do?
I help in the community.
Okay, but give me a little background. Which community you are from? Where is that located? That community? How many people is living in that community?
Okay. The name of the community is Windsor Castle, Portland. Windsor Castle is the community. Parish. The parish is Portland, right in Jamaica.
Okay, how many people is living there? How many inhabitants you have?
So quite a few thousand people.
1,000?
Yes.
A
quite
thousand.
few. So yeah, quite a few thousand.
Okay,
So,
quite a few thousands.
Yes.
Okay, so and which are the most frequent hazards, natural hazards you face in your community?
Okay. One of the most frequent hazards we have been having recently is drought, right? But we have had hurricanes also, and we have had landslides because we are one of the most mountainous part of Jamaica, right? Where we have the Blue Mountains. And the farmers, we plant carrots on the hillside. And sometimes, especially in the last few years, when you don't have rain for a time, which is a drought, then when the rain comes, it washes down a lot of things. Sometimes the carrots are there, you have to plant again.
Okay,
Yes.
Ruby, what you have done to prevent, I mean, if you know that these hazards are coming every year or every season, what have you done to prepare yourself and to be more resilient?
All right, some time ago we planted fever grass across the contours, you know, to prevent the land from sliding. But sometimes the fever grass, sometimes they die, or sometimes it's just not enough. The rain is too much for them, right? The last time we had disaster was in last year, and we applied to get some pineapple barriers, but it didn't come through. You know, we don't know what happened, but we did make all the papers and things, and it didn't come through. This year now we're having drought, which is unusual. This is October, almost the middle of October. It's supposed to be our rainy season, but it is not. We are still having dry season, and sometimes the farmers might plant, you know, during the dry season, hoping that the rain is going to fall like now, and it doesn't, because it used to fall. October we always get rain starting from September, but the climate change is on us, and you know it really plays because when the land is too dry and the rain starts, it slides down.
Well, if it hasn't had rain and what you have done to be prepared perhaps is not working quite well, what's the plan B? Do you have a plan B? What are you going to do next?
Well, there's hardly anything we can do about the land switches because, you know, you make the barriers, right? But the farmers can't afford to make the type of barriers that we need, right? This is why last year we tried to get some pineapple barriers, which we were told about, but we didn't get it, right? So we just have to keep trying and hoping that we don't have too much rain, and we will be able to get some of the carrots. But our area is a carrot area mostly, but you plant a lot of other vegetables are planted.
Ruby, as member of an organization and also as an older person, I'm not
yes.
saying that you are older, but you say that you are from an older group,
Yes,
you belong to an older group of persons. Do you feel more vulnerable to disasters, to these new situations that you are facing under these new changes of climate?
Yes, and not only as an older person, but even the younger persons. You know, they're really sort of frustrated, you know, when you go through and you have to prepare the land, because carrots, you have to take out all the stones, because the carrots need the ground to grow in, and you go through, then you plant, and then you know, and really to see it, you know, go like that, it can be frustrating, not only for the old but for the young also.
So what will be your message or your call? Who needs to start doing something, or to give you more support?
With the government, we are hoping. The last time we had applied through the government, which is rather for the grant to get it, but we didn't. We don't know. We're not even sure why we didn't get it. But we're gonna try again. We're gonna try and go again, right? And we're gonna try and see if any other agency will help us. But I think the government should really come in and help us.
Okay, and besides the government, have you ever received support or training from international organizations or international cooperation?
Not for the farming. We have a training from Help Age in disaster, other disaster like hurricane but not really for the farming. You know, we really haven't gotten any aid. You know, and that is what we need, especially financial aid, because when you really break your back and plant, and you see it go down the drain and you have to plant again, you know, it's really frustrating. It really is.
But even the young persons are taking some example or some stories that you as older person transmit or can or say. I mean, because we have heard about the vulnerability, and we have talked a lot about the vulnerability of older persons, but
right.
We would also like to recognize your experience and your experiences and your expertise in life. So, yes. What we have to do? What will be your advice for younger people or new generations?
Well, I tell you, the younger people look on, and sometimes they don't want to attempt, because when they see what we have gone through, you know, but some still come on board. A few still come on board, but some of them say, no, they can't be bothered with what is happening. But we still go on, because especially a lot of the farmers, that's what they have been doing for years. So they are, you know, they just have to keep doing it. And as I say, it's not all the time that you really have this disaster, and especially in the last few years, it's like it's getting worse, because the Portland,
yes,
is a parish that everybody knows. It's always a rainy parish, and when you see we have been having droughts, you know, people come and say, what happened to your rain? You know, you're not having, and we're even having bushfire because of the drought, and we never used to have. You know, it used to be the other parishes, but we're getting it now, and it's difficult. So it's a change. We have to cope, and we have to try and see how, you know, best we can cope with it. And we are hoping to get help, you know, help from the government, in help that when the rain starts falling, it's not so bad, you know, because as I say, it's the hilly part of the country, and we really, the mud comes down, and a lot of our carrots are gone.
So finally, and in conclusion, in a scale of from 1 to 10, how prepared you are, or your communities, how prepared is your community to disasters?
Well, the thing is, the disasters have changed in a way, so we are not as prepared as we should. And as I said, last year is one of the worst year in the drought. Worst, as the government says, it's the worst in 30 years for West Portland and the St. Mary, in 30 years. So, you know, we're not used to it. We're not used to the sort of drought. And then after the drought, when the rain falls, that's when we have the landslides. So it is sort of new, and we have to learn how to cope with it, and we have to really get some help, right, from the government or from somewhere, you know, to let us to minimize the losses.
Okay, and what about the help or support inside the community? Because you have said that you need more support from the government and you need help outside the community, but what is the community doing to organize it?
Well, we have a group and we have applied, because it's not easy to really to get for the money, because most of the people there are small farmers, so we're not rich farmers. It's not like we own hundreds of acres. It's just small farmers. So we really don't have the money to take what it takes to really, avert this. And as I said, last year was one of the worst, because we're not used to drought, severe drought. In that part of the parish. We're just getting it now. And this year it's again here. So we know what's going to happen when the rain starts. The rain should have started already too, because we usually have it from in September. There's no rain, and now it's the middle of October. So we don't know what's going to happen this year again. But as I said, we're not used to it. So we're not used. What we thought last year was getting the barriers to help the landslide, and we applied and we didn't get it. So we don't know what's going to happen this year, and we hope we'll be able to get some help this year when whatever is going to happen.
And you talk since the point of view of all the community. You said previously that it's not because you are older, it's for all and young people to all the community.
The young farmers are having the same problem as well as the older farmers.
Okay, thank you so much, Ruby Anderson, for this quick interview.
Yes.
Well, glad to be here in Jamaica.
Yes. Okay.
Well, yeah, and guess you want to say something else?
Just saying that what group are you from?
Actually, I'm from United Nations.
Oh,
yeah, I work for United Nations, and our regional office is in Panama.
Okay, so do you think you'll be able to get any way to help us in that area of the island?
These kind of testimonies and interviews are tools to get more visibilize your work and your needs.
Yes.
So there's the camera. Say what you want to say. Yeah, believe me.
Yes, I hope we will be able to get some help, because as I said, last year we applied through the government, through RADA, which is Rural Agricultural Development Agency, and we did not get through. We don't know why, right? And we hope that if we have a disaster, and we can see it building up, as I say, because of the excessive dry weather, which we're not used to. Portland is not used to that sort of excessive dry weather. And
so it seems like you're running against the more hazards and frequent and deeper or harder hazards.
Right. And remember, 2012 was the year of Sandy, when eastern Jamaica really got hit. And we were in the middle of it, because it's like you have St. Mary, Portland, and St. Thomas, and we are in Portland. And
so even you get prepared, the conditions are getting harder, and you never win the career, the competition.
Right, we're not
against the time.
Right, we're not used to this sort of thing. And as coming out of Sandy, in 2012 was Sandy, and I will never forget Sandy. Sandy blew off my roof. So as coming out of Sandy, then we went into a drought last year. Then we had landslide, and then this year we are having a drought right now. So, the climate change is really playing havoc with our. And as I say, Sandy hit the eastern part of Jamaica, and we were in the middle of it. As a matter of fact, I remember when I look at the news, the eye of the hurricane passed in our area. So we really got it. So after that, well, we planted up, and we went again, and everything. But then we had a drought, which something we've never seen, the likes we have never seen, so. And then this year we have another drought again. So, it's gonna take us time to get used to
Yes.
this new climate.
Yeah, and when you say that you need or you are asked for help,
Yeah, we really
you ask
need
for help
help.
in economic terms or in terms of
Economic term. Well, what happened? What we were told by one of the officers that if we get the pineapple barriers, that would help. So we apply for the help because I say small farmers, we don't have the financial resources, so we are asking for help, and we didn't get the help.
How much money do you need? How much money we are talking about?
Well, the officer who did it, she really didn't tell us how much she was applying for. It was an officer, a government officer, who did it. So, she would know to estimate. She knew all the farms. And
Yeah, but do you as community, do you have a plan or a budget?
No, we didn't have a budget for that. We didn't have a budget for that. Because as I said, we don't even know what this sort of disaster is.
Yeah.
We're not used to it.
Well, so perhaps you could add to that a help request, some technical assistance request to
Yes,
establish
right.
the amount of the budget.
Right, because the radar officer was supposed to be the technical advisor and advise us, what we need.
Okay. Well,
Right.
your message has been recorded and it's going to be shared by in YouTube and in social media. So thank you.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ruby, for your trust in sharing with us your testimony and your message.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.